Joanna. Okay, so Joanna, I will just introduce you. So thank you very much for joining us. Joanna is currently during her internship of NAVA. Yeah, she's in the States. And Professor Joanna Ranczak-Leonardi, she's a very active psychologist. I've got the pleasure to know her since my master thesis because she was the supervisor of my thesis, and it was really a pleasure. And Joanna is studying human cognition through interaction. So she's she has also similar interests to ours and our grant. And she also studies human language, and she applies a little bit different approaches that we do in SYNCC-IN because she applies ecological psychology, the dynamic system, and semiotics. And her lab also runs several types of research projects for training for basic human interactivity and communication. And just recently, she also successfully finished as a PI her twinning grant. So I'm sure there is a lot of things we can learn from Joanna. So Joanna, thank you very much for agreeing to share with us your thoughts. So I will just stop talking. Yeah, Joanna, the floor is yours. The screen is yours, actually.
Okay, so let me share my presentation. First of all, I wanted to really congratulate you all on landing such a successful proposal. I think this is a super timely proposal and super timely phenomenon that you are geared to study. And I am so happy that it happens at Warsaw University, that Agnieszka is a leader and co-leader with you all on this project, because I think that we will develop in this basically most important thing for humans and human relations, which is the interactivity of human beings. Maybe one thing came to my mind. I don't know if you are aware of it, but maybe even some of you are co-author on this little piece. But last year, Mark Dignemans sort of led, he's an anthropologist of language, and he led an initiative which culminated in a letter to cognitive science about the primacy of interaction in cognitive science explanation. It also has very nice graphics that you can use, a nice little movie, animated movie. I don't know if you happened on it already or not. Yes, Agnieszka is nodding, so probably yes, yes.
That's
Okay.
right. No, the movie, no, we didn't see any movies today. Probably tomorrow. So you can play a movie.
Okay, no. I will just send it to you, the paper with, but it's very much in your alley. Okay, so you can see my presentation, right?
Yes, we can see. Sorry, I'm turning back because I can see also I'm checking that everything is also visible on a bit.
Okay, but you see it in not in presentation mode, but just in.
We can see it in presentation mode.
No.
No, you're like presenter mode. Sorry. Yeah, now we can see the presentation. Correct.
Okay, so I will just give you a couple of minutes of overview of my project, but I don't want to take the time for that, because I think it's more interesting for you to discuss some and ask some questions maybe. So our TrainCrease project was not directly about interaction or interactivity, like physical interactivity, but it was trying to direct attention to the fact that every knowledge structure that we are developing as humans is contingent on social interaction. So the title was From Social Interaction to Abstract Concepts and Words. So it was really removed. The abstract concepts and words are not thought about as arising in interaction, whereas we wanted to show that they do, and the more abstract they are, in fact, the more negotiation, social negotiation they need. which is not usually accepted, but recently more and more so. Maybe also because of the work of this researcher. Can you see my mouse? Yeah. Anna Borghi, who wrote this beautiful book recently, The Freedom of Words. So the words and their definitions do have freedom, but it's limited through our interactions also with each other. And we had a subtitle towards human-centered technology development because our ambition, is there something wrong? Can you hear me?
We are checking the audio to make it a little bit louder. But
okay, I can move closer to my computer. I don't know. I cannot move even closer.
We won't touch it just in case.
Okay. So, so this technology development was our ambition to move the basic interactivity up until not only language, but also computation, which was a little bit ambitious, but still, even if you see words, abstract concepts, and language as an outcome of interactive processes, you may also think about technology as modulator of human interactions and not as sort of individual genius minds that want to take us over, right? So this was the basic gist of the project. We were the leader. Anna Borghi from Sapienza, many of her colleagues, Claudia Mazzucca, Chiara Fini, Francesca Bellagamba were also on the project. Also Luca Tumolini and Francesco Manella, we struck a wonderful collaboration with them that lasts till now, as many of those. We had the University of Manchester with Angelo Cangellosi, the chief of Robotic Cognition Lab, and Aarhus University, the Interacting Mind Center from Denmark. So that was our project. The main objectives was, of course, strengthening the research field and strengthening the expertise of the twinning coordinator. So our research field was started from the fact that cognitive science is still dominated by symbolic approaches. Even though we deny it, we still tend to think about minds as computers and doing some computations and information processing. We do not think like this. We think in dynamical terms, but still we think that computational forms are important. So, but such approach distances cognitive science from experience, because experience is continuous and it's not easily cached in symbols. But it makes it sort of compatible with to human AI interaction. And we wanted to shake a little bit those assumptions. The strengthening of expertise at the University of Warsaw is, well, at that time, Agnieszka didn't have her wonderful twinning grant, and at the Department of Psychology, we did not have many international grants, save for some application grants like AIT, but not strictly research grants. And we had bureaucracy that was really tremendous. We had also research support force that some of the people didn't speak English, for example. And also quite a weak administration researchers relation, which I think some of the difficulties that you are experiencing right now with your project are due to my project. Sorry, I have to say this, but just the analysis of our research section and collaboration with researchers showed the urgent need for reform. And as every reform in any working organism, this at the beginning is pure hell. So right now we are in the sort of hellish. I hope you confirm this. I hope we are at the end of the hellish moment, because we've got two extremely able people who are leading this section. Well, but really they need the.
Sorry, don't be distracted. There's IT team trying to make you louder because for me it's perfect, but we have a lot of people here. So yeah.
Hello, Bartosz. It's not nice to see you.
Okay, I will just direct it to myself. Okay. Yeah, I think you can continue.
Yeah, okay. So we had six work packages, probably similar to yours. One is a theory building, so it was theoretical concerns. The second one was super cool because it was just 4 or 5 workshops in which the early stage researchers went to one or another country, to 4 countries, in order to learn specific methods of interaction studies. So it was in Warsaw, for example, it was a dynamics of movement and dynamics of bodily coordination. In Manchester, it was cognitive robotics. In Aarhus, it was experimental semiotics, which is super nice. And in Anna's Borghi's institution, it was psycholinguistics, more traditional methods in psycholinguistics. This worked really super well. We formed a group of researchers that would hop from one workshop to another. Then work package 3 was the increasing and cementing the research excellence that we achieved during the program, and to sustain those changes through long-term changes at the university infrastructure and organization, and of course dissemination and management. So just briefly, 1 minute for each package and highlight. We had a theory building symposium that had 22 speakers, like top notch. I mean, Dedrick Gentner was there, Larry Barsalou was there, Martin Pickering, you name the top people from interactivity and language, and they probably were there. That resulted in a special issue in Philosophical Transactions B, and a very strong document, guidelines for the future development of this approach. The absolute highlight of the work package 2 was, of course, those four workshops were wonderful, but we also pitched to the IEEE, which is not very easy to get, for financing of the summer school in social human-robot interaction. And you can see here that Athena is driving a robo-horse. So it is for the human sciences to have a bigger say in the artificial intelligence and robotics. This school was absolute success. I'm sorry I'm saying that, but it's not for me, but for the whole team that was working on it. You can see that, and I advise it very strongly. We formed just a simple signal group, but we named it nicely. We had a very nice graphic for this summer school. And you can see that this is still going on. I mean, it was almost 1.5 years ago, but people are still using this. And about 75 people are still on this group out of 100 or 110 that were at this.
You could also think about something like that. We'll be organizing summer school soon.
So yes, and I don't have time to do it right now, but please play our movie from the summer school. I will send you the link. You can send it to them. But that was also important to make such a movie. It wasn't that expensive. And it really is an also nice souvenir, but also very good for propagating. Also, we had a publication about our school in the Journal of Adaptive Behavior, which counted for some small publications for the participants. It's also important.
Heidelberg team who is here with us, who is responsible for summer school, is making notes. So
great, super. So you can contact me, and you can contact also our team that I present at the end. We had so many grant applications that I think we had too many. And here is an advice for you that it's better to focus on maybe 2 or 3. But I think we put in like 5 or 6, also because of the collaborations, and they wanted us to jump in. But it still detracts your energy, and So we applied twice for doctoral networks. We got a very good score, but unfortunately not funded. Also ERC starting grant, twice Pathfinder. We applied also for Spencer Foundation with a little bit different configuration, and advanced grant, which did, all of them got wonderful reviews. I mean, we couldn't understand why they are not financed if the drawbacks are not so evident. But well, that's life. You know how competitive it is. So probably it is better. We will of course reapply. It is better to focus on and focus early. I think leading such grant, and here is Agnieszka's burden mostly. It's so tiring and time consuming and energy consuming
No.
that no, I mean, okay, you say it now. I know
No,
you're
I'm just joking. So.
and of course, you have a wonderful support from your partners, which is the
Yeah,
most important thing. So I think it's good that we all think about and support Agnieszka in it, because my team was super, and some of my team did apply. I mean, the doctoral network was done by Anna Borgi, but still, I think it was me that I sort of didn't know how to use this help. So maybe this is some advice also to start early, to really think about it, maybe apply first earlier and then have in 1 year or in 2 years a chance to apply again. Well, this is like a rooster, claiming that the sun has risen, but I think Agnieszka took at least a little bit of audacity and just not
Yeah,
being
definitely. I read your grant multiple times, and there are probably a lot of very similar sentences in our grant that you had in your project, but after
okay.
your consent. So
Okay, so
everything was legal.
of course, and I'm very, very happy for this. So highlights for the work package 4, which is sustaining the changes at the in Warsaw. I don't know if this will go in. Yeah, this is our page for human interactivity in Language Lab. We had funds to make such a page, which is something that is also a good place to gather the resources on interactivity and language. So, for example, we have event page that those events are still going on. Last one was not even a month ago. This is Luca and Francesco that I was mentioning. Some modeling work, but also we have YouTube, and on YouTube we have some materials from our. I won't show it now because you know how YouTube channel looks like, but it's important that it gathers sort of knowledge in. Okay, I figured out how to go there, but I didn't figure how to come back. Okay, here I am. So it's really a nice resource that remains after the project, and I would advise also to put some effort in this. Okay, and the last but not least, our collaborations in outreach and dissemination, which is a Copernicus Science Center. We have very good contacts with them. Also, we are able to gather data from their visitors, which is super important. They have something called Living Lab that you can participate there as the visitors can be participants, right? So this is very important for dissemination, but also for data collection and for common projects, because of course they are interested in interaction and interactivity. So we can also facilitate those contacts if you need. Also collaboration with teachers. That was fantastic. Here, Eva Mahnacz, one of our managers, she has great contacts with very progressive teaching NGOs. And here you can see a workshop in which teachers from various parts of Poland and schools came, and we thought together how to teach about artificial intelligence which modifies human interaction and not what is artificial intelligence, right? So it's a different viewpoint. We had, I think, almost over 40 publications at the time of this report. It was 32, but it was not only
writing right now.
no, but listen, some of the publications were enabled by TrainCRIS, but TrainCRIS was not a research grant. You are very lucky because you have 30% of funds devoted to research. We did not have this privilege, and I invented something that was called research training, and it was called micro twinnings. So there were tiny little projects that passed as a master thesis or training of a student hands-on experience, but they were still research projects, but I was not supposed to say it. So, it was a little sort of hack to this, to make it a little bit research oriented. And for example, we had 4 papers and 2 posters at Cognitive Science Society, which was our, I think, major success, and several sessions and also workshops for Cognitive Science Society. So I think we at least waved their hands, hey, not only individual mind, but also the interaction. Okay, somehow I think that's enough for now because I know that wait okay, maybe one more thing, which is the team. This the highlight of work package 6 is that we have developed a fantastic team of people that are now, the 2 of them are doctoral students. I think Eva is not a doctoral student right now, but maybe she will be, but they are skilled both in scientific sort of research area and in all the conundrums and obstacles of the administrative processes. And those people are really this connecting tissue that cannot be overstated, their importance. So thank you. That's it. And these are some publications. And this is the most important result of our of our project, that we are really connected now, and we are connected for future projects. I was already on the next ITN, which was put in, etc., etc. So just keep your fingers crossed for our future grants that are supposed to materialize. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna. I think we are all intimidated now by the success of your grant, and I'm not sure whether we should go and visit Warsaw today, or instead we should just sit and write publications. We'll discuss it later on.
I think you should go to the Warsaw Copernicus Museum for a trip.
We'll be there tomorrow, close to it, because tomorrow we are going to meet at Dobra Street. Today we plan to go to Palace of Science and Culture to see the view, and then to discuss the publications. Now I'm sure that we should do it. No, but I'm just joking. Thank you very much. Maybe the teams, our partners, have questions to Joanna now, because I have privilege that we are in a close contact, so I can always drop an email to her. Do you have any questions? They are thinking, so maybe I will ask you a question. So what do you think? What's the biggest takeaway from managing this grant?
I think I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say it in this audience, but I think one of the sort of sobering conclusions and lessons was that the coordinator is one. So, of course, other people help the coordinator, and maybe this is a pledge also to people that are sitting in the room right now to sort of take the point of view of Agnieszka as a sole coordinator for the grant and remind her about some things that might dwindle away. I don't know. That was something that because I thought, oh, we are making this wonderful grant. Hey, let's all do it. No, the coordinator is one, and that's good because also there is no chaos because of that. But I think that was something that I learned the hard way. You know, in our collective society, we are sort of relying on the institutions and on the groups of people. But yes, but this is maybe also a pledge to your co-workers. So that would be something that I would take away for next grant, that I would like to distribute this work and distribute responsibilities, something that maybe you have already done, and it was done on paper in our grant, but the organization was really mostly on our side. So that was.
I've got,
And also that I will
cannot
never
think that-
apply.
Yeah, wonderful partners and research team in Warsaw. So I think that we are trying to divide responsibilities, but yeah, I see your point. So
Maybe the second thing is that I will probably never apply for a grant which does not have research money, because it's really not a good idea. And yes, and to start early, to keep the impetus of the grant, it would be good to land the next grant right after. I had to take 1 year off because I was so tired that
I will rethink it, because I already asked my husband to kill me when I start to say that I have to submit another grant, but maybe we should discuss it, and I will just ask him to ignore my request.
But don't you have it as a milestone for this grant? I don't know.
Yeah, we of course we did. Of course.
So here you are.
Okay. Any questions from the audience? Yeah, we've got. Can you hear? Because you're like connected to so many cables that I am afraid of moving the computer around, but I can try, because you can see the audience, which is quite big.
Hello, nice to see you.
And can you see? Yeah, Cecile, you are visible now. Yeah, so Cecile has a question. I will just repeat if it is needed.
I think I would like to know any advices for keeping the whole team motivated, and like to keep the to avoid some people taking most of the work while others doesn't feel like actively involved in the task. So over the time, any advice to keep the team working as a team, and for communicating between the different, how did you manage to avoid to share too many details with everybody, but maybe not too less, or keeping people, I don't know.
Did you hear it well?
Yes, yes. Do you mean research motivation or organizational motivation?
Probably everything.
Or everything, but also organizational, how to keep it forward.
So my trick for this was to give everybody some money from the grant, and and really it works very well, because
yes. So I am not responsible for other money.
Yes, but usually you have 1 or 2 managers, and that's it. In our grant, we had like 6 or 7 managers on just partial employment, and that meant that I could have a very clear zakres obowiązków. Division of labor, yeah, and tasks described for each person. And somehow, the novelty of the European grant and the responsibility for in front of foreign partners was also something that I made very clear, that we have to make a good figure in front of our partners, who are excellent researchers in their field. And since my managers were also scientifically involved, they were also very aware of that they have to make a good impression of Warsaw. So this was this was apart from dividing the work and making sure that people are paid for what they are doing. I think this is something that in a communist country we didn't care too much. You don't remember those times, but maybe some people in the audience do, but you just earned whatever you earned for if you did something or not. Right now, the generation is different and they really want to put their time, but they want to be acknowledged for that. And both the acknowledgement, the financial one, and this kind of like ethos of a researcher, and it's very important. I think it's very important. You cannot overstress it. And it's a small thing, but I noticed that it was very important for them.
Yeah. Sorry, I hope they are hearing in Heidelberg.
Okay, thank you very much for this answer. Anything else you would like to ask Janna? I've got the whole list, but I know that Janna is busy. So
I just will maybe add that Julian Zubek will present partial results also from our trained Chris and his own research and my previous research on synchronization. And I wanted to underscore that we are developing very nice tools for studying synchrony, which we call coordination, because synchrony is a little bit limiting a term. You don't sort of capture this complementary synchrony, let's say. People, when they think about synchrony, they think about doing things at the same time, or sometimes it is doing some things in the opposite time or in turn with specific timing. And I think that dynamical systems methods are connected to a different view on psychology, which is ecological psychology, but it does not mean that they cannot be used everywhere, because we are dynamical systems, we are complex, and if you need any support for those methods, I think Human Interactivity in Language Lab will be the place to look at. And I have other resources that I can recommend. Right now we are working on I hope, important paper for methodology of studying human interaction with Groningen, Krakow, and other people. So I hope that we will see each other during your program.
definitely. Yeah, we will make sure that everyone will network with Julian after his talk, and yeah, because I'm sure we can benefit from your findings. So maybe just one final question. Were there any like conflicts or bottlenecks in your project that needed special, attention, and what did you do? Anything that was particularly, difficult for you during the management of the grant?
What do you mean by bottlenecks?
Like any big problems that you encountered and maybe they delayed the project or something like that?
No, I mean, we started our project in COVID, and even that did not delay us. I mean, we just postponed a little bit the workshops. Maybe it's just we've got a wonderful project officer from at the level of European community and European research area agency, it's called, right? It's so he was super helpful, and maybe yeah. So maybe there was one thing that was not clear from the beginning, and namely who is responsible for what within Warsaw University. So we have research section at the level of faculty, at the level of the university, and also we have the European level of research grant management. And the communication with the European agency was somehow mediated by the university level, but they looked at us to really effectuate the communication. So it was not very clear here, and maybe you know, we were thinking, Agnieszka, of maybe, I don't know if it is the same for other institutions, but we can sit down after I come back and talk this through with our local.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would be really helpful.
Because
Yeah.
we were sometimes waiting for something that they do, and right now the problem is with payment of the last distribution of money. It's the last payments, and I can still not have the bank statement, you know, that we've made this payments, and I'm waiting couple of weeks. So it's that kind of stuff, and I'm not sure if it was the central questor or the local one.
I can see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if other bottlenecks come to my mind, I will get back to you.
Okay, cool. Great. Okay, Jana, thank you very much. I know that you have to go for your lab meeting. So again, thank you very much for meeting with us. And
Thank you. It was a pleasure and privilege to see you all, and I wish you all the best with
like bigger group here, and tomorrow there will be even bigger group. So okay, thank you again, and yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck with next endeavors of yours.
Okay, fingers crossed.
Bye.
Bye-bye.